Hola, buenos dias. Hello, good morning. This is Weston. High rising in the radio signals of the matrix core systems right now. So everything through its high rise is going through its electric fences. Those electric fences are connecting through your energy systems. You have to know exactly what's going on with your transmission lights, the third eye, and its connection energy waving patterns where it's connected through the radio signals. Radio signals are very important because they connect in all ways and forms of communication line signals. And those communication line signals are connected through the shapes and through its pixelization, because every pixelization is a radio signal. So the more you understand that through your circuitry systems and your body systems, you understand everything through its systematical systems, how it's high rising through its energy cycles. Okay, remember I was telling you about the oscillation wind cycles, how it formulates and everything through its body system, its equilibrium and its centers. Well, that's exactly what it is. So it's a radio transformation, okay, through one connection to another, but it communicates in all ways and forms, okay? So basically, it's volumes and volumes of electricity, which are connecting through human locations. It's connecting through everything through, all walks of life, atmospheres. It doesn't have to be human. It could be anything, because everything is a reaction, okay, to its inner and outer surface, where it becomes its solar surface, and everything through its connection. So let's just say that the magnetic energy highway through its communication is one big radio signal, okay? And everything is connected through its frequency levels of its vibration through its energies, okay? And once we understand that, then we understand through its volumization and how to use everything through its voicing grids, okay? And that's how we get control through its radio signals. Remember I was talking about its point systems and all that, because everything's connected through a radio signal, okay? So I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you very much to all the subscribers and viewers. You guys are amazing, especially the new viewers. It's great to see new faces. It's so much love and support that's going on right now, and it's amazing to see that. So thanks again for watching my YouTube channel as I show you more information what's going on with its body systems and everything that's going on through its connection, through its activation systems. And the activation systems is high rising through its present systems, and the present systems is changing its new locations through radio signals. So like I said, it's very important I give you back this information. So other than that, I hope everybody's doing well. I had my coffee. I feel great. And when I feel great, a lot of information that I give to you is formalizing through your body systems. So let's just start off with a little basic drawing here. Okay. Now, radio signal is all connection energy waving patterns. So you have to understand every radio signal is a higher force of its continuous force. So once we get true winds of that, so think of it as like a radio signal can be categorized as maybe a satellite dish, or it can be basically, it doesn't reside in one location. Okay, it's understanding the audio perception. This is where you really have to understand its ears. Okay, so basically, okay, let's just start off. Okay. All right, this is just a body frame. Okay, got the galactic higher self. I'm just showing you exactly what goes on with its radio signals on a day-to-day basis and how important it is to understand. Okay, so that's basically you. Okay, now everything through a radio signal is through its audio signal. Okay, audio signal. And now the audio signals are waving patterns. Okay, now the waving patterns are connected, okay, to weather patterns. And the weather patterns are connected to the atmospheres. Okay, and the atmospheres, I think you know where I'm going with this, is connected through space. And space is connected through the galactic. The galactic is connected to the matrix. Okay, so this is all connection energy waves. Now you have to understand radio signals, but this is exactly what it is. Okay, everything through the audio section, okay, is audio communication. This is what it formulates every single day. Okay, so you have to understand how important radio signals are. Because once you have the radio signal, everything through, you know, the cross, okay, is balance, okay? Now everything through its chakra formation, okay? Then you have the crown chakra. It's very important to understand what the crown chakra is. It's not what you think. It's spiritual, right? Very, very spiritual. Once you awake. Okay? The crown chakra is spiritual, but it's also connected. The crown chakra is a radio signal. Okay? It's forms of radio signals. And that's where it allocates when you get into different locations. So you can go straight up, okay? Then you can go this way, you can go that way, you can go straight, you can go this way, you can go that way, you can go down phrase, you can go down phrase, over phrase, but that's exactly what it is. Once you get into the balance of its systems, you can fly anywhere. This is where you have to use your traveling mechanisms, because traveling mechanisms is extremely important when it comes to radio signals. Okay, travel. So we're going deeper into the mechanisms and how important it is to understand what radio signals are. Because every time you balance through a frequency level of a chakra formation, you're using that connection energy radio signal through a radio signal. Remember, I was going into the point systems of shapes. Okay, once you go past its 12 divisional lines, you're now into its past its solar, and you're coming into space and the galactic. So you have to understand radio signals. It's extremely important, especially when you're high rising through the 12th dimension of its point sets. Okay, because after 12, it doesn't come point sets anymore. It comes telegraphing, telecommunication, radio signals. Okay, so the traveling mechanisms. Okay, traveling mechanisms. Okay, so when you travel, you can go this way, that way, but as long as you find your balance through your communication, everything through its communication is a telegraphing telecommunication through a radio signal. Okay, so basically when it sends out audio information, okay, it's on its balance. Okay, this is where it squares. So basically it squares here, okay, cross through the body. Everything has to be centered. Okay, everything through its activation. Then you have the third eye. This is where you use the third eye more. So the third eye comes out like this, and it voluminizes everything through its connection. Okay, the third eye comes out. All right, communicates on a level through its balance, through its energy pod. Everybody knows the energy pod, right? The perception, the voicing grids, and the audio grids. Energy pod. This is basic stuff. But you have to know exactly what's going on. Once you reach 12 vision lines, you go past its solar to space, then you're connecting radio signals. Okay, you have to know these things. It's extremely important. Okay. So once you get past that, you have an activation center through its body center. Okay, and you have an activation center through the third eye. Okay, so it's energy pod. Energy pod. Now the energy pod is very important because that's what you use every single day through the perceptions and the voicing grids and the audios. And then you use in the mind and the brain. The mind and the brain are the last because it's the information. Okay. So once you understand this information through its balance, then it becomes a telecommunication of a telegraphing to a waving pattern. You have to understand radio signals are patterns too, because everything through its communication line is a radio signal. So if you're connecting through a radio signal to one human and then to another human, their DNA structures are totally different of a radio signal because their vibrations are different from a radio signal. So hopefully that doesn't get too complex, but that's how you understand everything through the body systems. That's how you understand everything through its frequency systems and how everything has to be balanced through its communication every single time. Okay, so that's the energy pod. Okay, this is the energy pod. Okay, the perception, the voicing grids, and the audio. Okay, but this is what the audio represents every single day through communication. So when you're traveling through the spiritual of its crown chakra, okay, I'm going to outline its surface here and make it darker. So that's the crown chakra, okay? Everything through the crown chakra is connected through the body systems. So it crosswinds its cycles, okay? And everything through its activation. So it's an activation here, okay? So it starts here. And everything inside through its center, okay, is its point center of a chakra formation. Okay. So once you understand its full information, okay, and you're connecting through all these patterns, you have to connect from your audio signal, your connection. So your body's connecting with its waving patterns, which is energy cycles. Okay. Then it connects with the weather patterns, with electronic interference, with these cloud formations, because you're sending out radio signals. So you have to know exactly who you're communicating with through electronic interference. If you're sending a communication wave and you hit a cloud formation, this is understanding interaction through interfacing. It's very important that you understand that you don't send that radio signal to that cloud formation or that particle of energy system or that star system of an energy cycle through its system of dimensional set. Because if you do that, the traveling mechanism will crosswind its cycles and it will get totally confused. Okay? So it's very important that you communicate through its balance, through its activation center, through its cross. So that's exactly what it is. Okay? Activation, activation. And you know what happens through that, right? Believe it or not, your body system is an activation. It's cross-referencing. I don't think I've ever showed you this. But like I said, you can do it with shapes, numbers, and letters through the matrix grid systems, but you also can do it through yourself. And that's why you guys have to experiment yourself, how to use your hand formation for communication, electronic interference, how to communicate with its grounds, how to communicate with well-graphed circles and its centers through the crosswind cycles of it, everything through its shapes, through its squares, through its triangular, rectangular, circles, everything through circles, its cycles. But you have to understand everything through its energy pods, through traveling mechanisms. But most of all, the wavy patterns through the weather patterns, the atmosphere, space, galactic, and the matrix. Now, once you reach the matrix, you're on a totally different radio signal because now you're connecting through its balance of everything. Okay? And once you connect with everything, you have to understand its activation through your body center because it's very important because now you're becoming a full connection energy waving pattern through a radio signal. Okay? So once you understand its cross-referencing, right, everything is geographical map. So you're using the energy pods through its perception of its dimensional sets. Those dimensional sets are setting its limits and its tones. And that's where you use your voicing grids. Okay? Because your voicing grid is also a radio signal. Okay? It's transformation lights of communications. That's all it is. But you understand that it's not just electricity that's going out, it's laser, right? And it's very important that you send that information to the right person or the right object or whatever you're sending it to. You know, like if you want to communicate, let's just say with a ball retraction, and you want to see its electronic interference and you want to see it come back at you, you understand its communication through its vibration, through its coloration. Then you understand its full rotation and how everything through its ball reaction has a radio signal. Okay? So it's very important that, you know, we come into satellites. Satellites are dishes, right? They do longitude and latitude, and that's how you reach the geographical map of certain systems, the planet systems. That's where you find its location systems. So everything through a radio signal is balanced through information, through vibration, through the energy system, through the energy cycles. But it's very important to understand its activation through its body centers, where it cross-references. Okay? Here and here. Okay? Bringing this to everybody's attention because it's extremely important to understand what's going on with your crown chakra. Okay? Because this is solar kinetic energy through its spiritualism, and it's connecting through the traveling mechanism. So you go straight up, and once you reach its balance through its communication signal, everything through its radio signal is telegraphing through its telecommunication. Okay? So let's just say you wanted to communicate with a probing mechanism. The only way you're going to do that is to understand its balance through its radio signal of the probe. You have to understand how to get partnership with that probing mechanisms. Now, once you understand its radio signal, because every probing has a radio signal, everything's connected through the harmonic systems. Okay? That's what I'm saying. When you get into the matrix system, okay? So I'll show you this one more time. But this is full wind cycles on the body systems, how it activates through its centers of its cross reference of its cross through its activation of its body and ecosystems, and how everything's connected through the audio systems. Okay? That's exactly what it is. Okay? So it's understanding more when you get into the matrix. It's very important to know what's going on through its systems, especially when you're going past the 12th dimension. Anything through the 12th, you know you're getting connected through a higher force of radio signals. But every radio signal has a different frequency. Okay? So you're in the matrix. Okay, that's activation of its code. Okay, wall graph and circle. Okay. Okay, so it's very important to understand. Do it very quick. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, basically, this is the matrix core system, right? It's a box. Everything there is centered is line dividing through its activation of its codes. So, understanding everything through its frequencies codes, you're understanding everything through its cross-referencing. Because believe it or not, cross-referencing are radio signals. Right? It's very important because it's activation. Everything is activation. Everything is radio signal. Okay? If you have a car and you need to have all those compartments, all those mechanisms in the car for it to work, if you take out a spark plug, it's not going to start the car. So that's how important radio signals are, because they're communication airwaving systems that are connected through space, atmospheres, the galactic system, and the matrix core. Everything is activated through its frequency levels of a radio signal. So it's activation, okay, cross-reference, plasmacine force system, okay. Now I use the energetic waving system, okay, so it's high rising through higher defense systems. Now everything through its radio signals, high rises, so it's illumination of the sky system. So basically what it is, it's a ground formation of you. So you're a satellite dish of a radio signal through frequency levels. So basically you're skyrocketing, okay, all right, so it's like a circular rotation. So your wind panel surface of a solar connection energy surface that is connected through its light formation of its body system surface. Okay, so it's volumizing. Okay, so when it communicates, it can communicate this way, it can communicate this way. It's just very important to understand that everything through its communication, okay, is high rising or low rising. If it's low rising, you have to understand its activation because you're on a lower frequency level. Okay, so everything is through a self-generated circulation is rotation, just like, you know, the core mechanisms of the matrix circle. Okay, it's electronic interference. You already know it's magnetic polarized highway, and it's electronic interference. We've been through this before, but this is exactly what it is. This is how it all communicates through its radio signals. Okay, all right. So basically what we have now through the electronic interference, it's coming down through the radioactive of its radio system is now a radio signal. So the matrix is one big plasma force system through its connection of its box system, okay, which is energy's core. This is just an example, but I'm just showing how you communicate from its ground formation to a solar connection of its body system and how you use signals, okay, low, medium, and high. So the higher you go, the higher the signal through its frequency level. Okay, so now you understand its communication through its telegraphing system, how everything is telecommunicated. Okay, now once you understand its wavy pattern, you know exactly what's going on through its coloration, because everything through its coloration, okay, is the matrix core of its matrix center, and everything through its balance is coming from its electronic interference of its magnetic forcing highway. Okay. So that's exactly what it is. But you have to make sure that you communicate in all waving signals and you send the right signal to the right solar connection. Anything through its particle of energies. Because if you basically, here's a star system, okay, and you do communication airwaving systems through a radio signal and you send the wrong information, or that star system is a totally different radio signal, it's going to come back sidewind your cycles and it's going to put that energy into your system. So you have different information. So it's very important to understand that radio communication, right, from space is very real. And that's how we connect through its energy cycles, through the oscillation wind cycles. Now, the oscillation wind cycles are high rise in your divisional levels. Okay, so what I mean by that is that you have the body system. Okay, you have the body system. Okay. It's very important to understand what's going on right now, especially now, because you're high rising to higher levels. It's very important you understand that your body system is connected through its electrical systems. The electrical system is a communication airwaving system where it's connected through the telecommunication. I remember I was telling you about ET, energy telecommunication. Now the energy telecommunication is sending different waving patterns through radio signals. So again, you're kind of like a satellite. So basically it's going up like this, okay? This is what it's doing, okay? Now everything through its connection is its ground formation. Circulates and rotates, okay? Now the circulation rotation is changing its radio signal every time, because you have to understand everything through its center, it's its gravity center. And like I said, everything around you is a radio signal. Okay, that's how we get connected through frequency levels of signals. And that's how we get our balance on an everyday basis through its communication line signals. Okay, so these are communication line signals. Okay, so you're getting more formula now of what's going on with radio signals. Okay, these are communication lines. Okay, everything's connected through its ground formations. This is ground formations. Now the ground formations is electronic interference. We already know that. It's going up. Okay. So the ground formations is now connecting with the center core of its activation. Okay. It's telegraphing its energy waving. Okay. Through the energy telegraphing systems. So the energy telegraphing system is going through the body systems through the communication of its waving and its signal systems. Now the communication signals are going through its chakra formation, connecting all ways and forms through the crown chakra. Okay. Now once it reaches the crown chakra, it's on a solar connection energy pattern. So once it understands its balance, you're now in the high frequency level of the magnetic highway. And once you get into the matrix systems, you're understanding full control of radio signals, of all balances, of frequencies. Did a lot of writing today. Okay, matrix systems, full control of all balances and all frequencies. Okay, that's exactly what it is. Okay. That's how you communicate in all waving signals, through radio signals, through frequency levels of vibration. Okay. This is where it comes into the energy telecommunication. It's the highest form of communication through anything. Okay. And everything is activated through its pyramid systems. Okay. Because the pyramid system, okay, is a top wind cycle, and it volumizes and goes up. Okay, like this. Okay. It goes up. Okay. Then becomes a radio signal. Okay. But the air waving system, okay, is basically, when it goes up, you have to understand its connection, because it can go this way, but it volumizes and it gets bigger and wider through its seismographic systems. So all those volumes are going through like this, and it's communicating this way, this way, this way, this way, okay? And it has electronic interference on each radio signal. So it's telegraphing waving signals in all different locations, okay? But through the pyramid system, it already knows its location. It knows already the information that it's sending out. So it's very important to understand that pyramids have brain systems, but it's connecting energy power through the hydraulic systems. So it's everything through its activation is its center. We already know that. It's cross-referencing. Everything cross-references. Everything has a plasmacine force system. Okay? Well, that's exactly what it is. This is how a pyramid communicates in all waving signals. Okay? And you have to get very important to understand that everything sidewinds its divisional levels from northwest, south, and east. This is where you get connected through your traveling mechanisms. This is extremely important, because once you're traveling, you have to understand your frequency levels of energy telecommunication through telegraphing signals through a radio signal. Now, once you get into the radio signals, okay, because you've already gone past the point systems, now you're in the matrix grid systems of its telegraphing and its energy systems of its matrix of its systems. Okay? But that's exactly what it is. That's how everything is formulated around a radio signal and how it becomes communication airwaves to everything through its ground formations, its humanity systems, everything through its connection with its cloud systems, everything through its connection of its space, planet systems, intelligence systems, energy systematical systems, everything through its solar connection of particles. Now, everything through its particles has a radio signal too, because it's a star system. And everything in space is information, okay? Because they're always communicating every single day. So you have to, that's why you have to, it's very important to understand line division, because everything becomes a communication signal, okay? So it's very important to understand that, because they know the location, they know the frequency levels, they know the balance, okay? And everything through its information is energy, through its vibration, okay? So it's very important to understand that your weather patterns, because weather patterns are connected to the matrix and its colorations. Okay, so that's why pyramids are extremely, extremely informative with its information, because they connect through the laser mechanisms, and that laser mechanism is high rise in its systems through its communication of its radio signals. Okay, so I don't think I ever talked about radio signals. I've said that over too, but I want to make sure that you guys get north wind, south wind, and east wind, and west wind, and everything that's going on with your body systems and how everything is connected through its satellite systems. Okay. Because you are a satellite, you're not, platitude is satellite, but your system is a huge, huge communication waving signal of information of energy through vibration and a radio signal. Okay, because everything in space is nothing but electronic interference. So the more people understand that through its humanity, through its ground formations, through its atmospheres, galactic space, and the matrix, then you understand everything through its communication of its radio signal. So, one more time, looking at that, it's exactly what it is. Okay, that's how everything formulates around its communication levels. Okay, all right, it's very important that everybody understands. Okay. Anything you don't understand is totally fine, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you out and guide you, especially now. Okay, it's very important you understand what's going on through its information. Okay, so anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I just want to bring that to everybody's attention. It's very important that you understand what's going on with your signals and everything through its frequency levels, everything through its vibration, everything through its balance, and everything through its energy systems. Because it's extremely important that you understand your oscillation wind cycles. The oscillation wind cycles, okay, are diversions, because one goes one way and one goes out the other way. It's like the atom, how you don't want them, they come together and they combust. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because it's creating a new vibration through balance. Okay. So understanding the oscillation wind is understanding the galaxy system and how it formulates through its vibration of its energy systems, and how everything of its particle systems is changing its energies of its colorations. Okay. But everything is communication through a radio signal. It's very important, because it's data input of information that needs to go to certain locations every single day. And that's how we communicate through its airwaves, through its volumes, and everything through its cycles. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well, but I just want to do that basic illustration of a diagram of what goes on through radio signals and how informative we are through our body and ecosystems, and how everything is through its balance or frequency levels. Okay. So questions and comments are great. I'm going to formalize right now, because I'm in the matrix systems right now, changing everything through its lights. Its center lights is going through high volumizing of its body systems. So now I'm changing your frequency levels through the circuitry hydraulic systems. So it's very powerful what's going on right now. So your brain waving systems are going to change its radio signals. So it's very important that you understand what a radio signal is. So I want to bring that to everybody's attention. All right, so thank you very much for watching my channel. I'll keep you informed of what's going on through the matrix systems. This is Andrew Weston, calling out. Adios.